Imagine after years of enjoying fresh, clear, clean groundwater for drinking, bathing, washing, and even livestock, suddenly having to haul in every drop you use. That change in lifestyle is the nightmare still being lived by many folks in Crook County more than 3 years after they began complaining about dramatic changes to their well water quality. In my initial reporting, the problems were pretty much limited to high levels of manganese and aluminum. Today, after an initial round of testing by the State Department of Environmental Quality, new toxins have appeared, and so too have new concerns for these troubled waters. Living in crisis mode year after year after year can be exhausting. For the McCormick family, life in crisis has become the norm. Every day, drinking, cooking, cleaning takes a bit more muscle for these Crook County residents since the well that helped make this house a home turned against them.
It is a lot harder than you think to have to haul in water for absolutely everything. My kids do not bathe here. We have to go bother my poor grandmother every night after basketball practice to have our showers there because it's not something that I'm comfortable with. After what happened to Mason last time, I don't want to put him through that again.
What her son was put through 2 years ago was this, an outbreak of hives, rashes, and up-all-night itching after taking a bath in water likely tainted with dangerous amounts of metals like manganese, iron, and aluminum.
My biggest concern is what I have done to them unknowingly years ago when we were still drinking it. We were drinking and eating, everything that you do revolves around water, and we consumed a lot of it.
And how could she have known? In 2017, when the Crook County Commission chose to grant Knife River a permit to begin mining gravel directly into the groundwater source less than a mile from the McCormicks and dozens of other private wells, property owners were told over and over again their water would not be impacted.
It's just not possible to haul that much water.
Fast forward to today, and Ashley's neighbor, Julie Thompson, who just spent $11,000 on a brand new water filtration system, remembers that public hearing like it was yesterday.
Nobody wanted it to happen. The room was completely full of people, and the number one question was, is this going to affect our water? And everybody was assured, no, it will not affect your water. We're not going to be in the water. It'll all be fine.
Knife River didn't just have to go into the water, it had to go through it to mine all that gravel, potentially stirring up centuries of solid, untouched materials. The folks around here have been convinced Knife River, its mining and rock washing operations, are the source of their troubled waters. During my initial reporting on this crisis, Knife River was quick to invite us onto the property and to share their science-based reasoning that they are not to blame for contributing to the water quality issues here.
Our position is that Knife River has not changed the quality of the water since we've been here.
I reached out to Knife River for this story as well. They were again happy to accommodate our questions, but made it very clear their position has not changed, sending a statement saying, "We are confident the data will continue to confirm our work has had no impact on water quality, and that hot spots of manganese occur across Crook County." And that is true, but at what levels? Thanks to pressure from the county, the state, and Oregon Senators Merkley and Wyden, a first round of state-sponsored well testing has just been completed. The results for well owners, well, let's just say bad, got a lot worse. What did this new batch of testing tell us that perhaps we didn't know before when the testing was kind of private and sporadic?
There's much higher levels than we thought that were there on certain domestic wells, which are clearly unhealthy.
Redmond attorney Ed Fitch has been working with these property owners for the last 2 years, pro bono. And the Oregon Health Authority report to the neighbors is now showing new, even more dangerous elements are appearing in their water, including arsenic.
It's very clear that the mine is causing this problem. It wasn't there before the mine started. The mine's the only thing that's changed, and it's clear that that's the connection.
Fitch says that connection is bolstered by the fact that the highest concentrations of toxic elements continue to be found down gradient of the mine, the direction the aquifer is flowing. But something else has changed here. The reason so many more toxic elements are being found in the well water out here is still an unknown. One possibility is that perhaps some of those minerals were not tested for until now. Another possibility is that the Knife River gravel mining operation is no longer mining gravel here. This facility has pretty much become a rock washing operation, with all of that contaminated water going directly into these unlined holding ponds. Ponds, which according to the property owner's own geologist engineer, are also dug through the groundwater source. Knife River now imports thousands of tons of rock from other sites and washes it here.
The ponds that they discharge the processed water to, so that dirty bath water gets put into settling ponds that are in the aquifer, right? There's a reason why those ponds have water in the bottom all the time, all year round, whether they're working or not. So that just means that they have a much more direct conduit from their wash water to the aquifer.
And while it took a year for the state to respond to complaints about the mine and the water, there is no denying the ball is finally rolling. The state testing just completed did give well owners a better grasp of just how dangerous their water has become. And the county-approved expansion of the Knife River mining operation onto adjacent land has been paused indefinitely. That still doesn't explain so much hesitation on the part of the county, state, and federal government to step in.
Last round of testing shows.
Take a ride with fifth-generation local Dick Zimmerly. He understands, of course, the process is complicated. After all, private wells are not regulated. But that, he says, has never been the point.
It's not the private well, it's the resource. So there's a resource under here that is the aquifer. The private well is just where the crap ends up. The state absolutely and the EPA absolutely have the authority and the duty, as far as we can understand it, to actually regulate the resource to make sure it's safe.
And the lack of public trust in Knife River isn't just limited to questions of contamination. The County Director of Community Development, John Eisler, left his position in the County Attorney's Office partly to devote his time to this crisis, knowing the amount of time and energy it was already taking. Has Knife River ever violated the conditions of that permit on that site?
There have been numerous complaints about operations there. Operations on the mine are governed by DOGAMI, but the land use aspects of that, their conditional use permit, we have been getting many complaints. We've been, our co-compliance officer has been very busy dealing with those, and Knife River's been responding to all of them. Greg
Swalen has been DEQ's liaison for the property owners for years. He admits, even if the mining operation was proven to be the culprit tomorrow and ceased operations, a return to clean drinking well water could be years, if not decades away.
I don't think their situation in 5 years is going to be different no matter what action is taken today. That is the honest truth. That's hard to tell people.
Not what homeowners like Ashley McCormick want to hear.
It's overwhelming and it's defeating. And it's very hard to normalize this to my children. And it just makes me wonder what they're going to think when they grow up. That's a sad thing. That's what they're going to remember.
Knife River has been compelled to begin its own on-site testing program with independent supervision. If DEQ can get the legislature to approve the costs, a second round of well testing will begin sometime this summer. In the meantime, Ed Fitch has gathered other attorneys in preparation for a class action lawsuit against Knife River. As for the state's primary mining regulator, DOGAMI, the Oregon Department of Geology and Mineral Industries, it remains confident the well water contamination is the result not of the mining operation, but of drought and natural geology of the area. I'm David Clue, Central Oregon Daily News.